Good evening, lacrosse fans, and welcome to Randall Stadium here at beautiful Wilsonville High School as the sun begins to drop behind the clouds. Sorry for the interruption there, folks. We had a little technical difficulty. Again, welcoming you back into Randall Stadium here at Wilsonville High School for the Oregon Girls Lacrosse Association semifinal number 2 game. Tonight's contest between the defending state champs and number 1 ranked Lake Oswego Lakers and the number 5 seed, the Wilsonville Wildcats, both teams out of the Three Rivers Conference. Should be a great matchup this evening. Both of these teams have had a spectacular year. And the Lake Oswego team in particular has gone undefeated in in-state regular season play, only dropping 2 games this year to some high-level out-of-state opponent. The Lakers are led by long-term coach Lauren Anderson, as are the Wildcats are led by their long-term coach Brett Manello. As our announcer goes through some player introductions, we will go through some introductions of ourselves in terms of some of the starters as we begin to get to the national anthem. For those of you joining us from around the country, welcome in. Those of you on the East Coast tend to come from a very long lineage of lacrosse history. Here in the state of Oregon, we've only been playing girls high school lacrosse for 23 years, which, yes, is a long period of time, but in the history of the game, not a ton of time. As the Lakers are now being introduced by the public address announcer, Pat Basso, they are led out on the field by arguably the best player in our state this year, number 1, Lauren Gilbert. Lauren is a fantastic athlete both on the lacrosse field and on the soccer field. Lauren is a Division I commit who was the first Oregon player who will be moving on to Northwestern, arguably one of the more prestigious college programs in the United States today. On the Laker roster next to her is number 2, Carly Leach, who's a junior. Carly's going to be going down the I-5 corridor here to attend the University of Oregon after next season as a verbal commit. So this is a very packed LO roster that we expect a lot of firepower out of this evening, both offensively and defensively. The Wildcats, on the other hand, are led in goal by number 99, Anna Cesara. Anna is going to be attending the University of Redlands. And if you'll stop with me here for a moment, we will do our national anthem. All right, folks, let's play a little lacrosse. As we were talking there before the anthem, Wilsonville is led by senior number 99, Anna Cesara. unfortunately, about mid-season, the Wildcats lost arguably their best player to an unfortunate ACL injury, Mackenzie Welberg, so she is out for tonight's game. But the Wildcats are not empty by any stretch. They've got a tremendous young crop. You'll see some outstanding play tonight from Brooklyn Waddell, Kylie Hicks, number 10, as well as junior Casey Schrock. So an outstanding group of athletes at the hands of Coach Manello, and expect a strong game out of them tonight. Now, both of these teams have met twice already this year in league play. Lake Oswego winning both times. Early in the season, on March 23rd, Lake Oswego escaped with a 1-point overtime win over the Wildcats. And then later in the season, Wilsonville was able to pull out Lake Oswego was able to pull out a 17-8 win over the Wildcats. So these two teams are not unfamiliar with one another, and it should be a great contest. As both teams come on out for the draw, one of the things you will enjoy tonight is watching number 1 for the Lakers, Lauren Gilbert, work the draw circle. She is the draw control leader in the state of Oregon this year, not just by a little, but by a lot, folks. Lauren, coming into this game, has 173 draw controls. Added to that, she's got 34 caused turnovers, 74 ground balls, and has tallied up 92 goals with a shooting percentage of 64.8. She's a special athlete who can really move the full field with a lot of speed, and I'm expecting great things out of her tonight with her draw partner, Carly Leach. On the Wildcat side, no slouch herself is another fantastic draw control specialist in Alexa Erickson. Alexa is a junior for the Wildcats, but she comes into the game with 82 draw controls and 26 goals, but is very, very effective. You may see the Wildcats try to mix some things up if they're not getting an effective pull on tonight's draw, but it should be a good battle in the center circle as both teams come out tonight. In the history of our championships here in the state of Oregon, Lake Oswego has 6 titles to their name, so they are in pursuit of number 7, which would tie them with Lake Ridge, our founding program here in the state of Oregon, who also has 7. This is an opportunity for the Lakers to return to the state championship game. I believe it is for the 6th year in a row. Oh, excuse me. 7th year in a row if they can get past the Wildcats tonight. We've got an early start on the draw. Going to be Wilsonville ball. Just an early twitch by Carly Leach. So here we go, folks. Wildcats with the first possession, bringing it downfield. Ball controlled here at the whistle by Alexa Erickson. Erickson begins to pressure Leach, looks to the left, and rolls it back behind the cage. Bit of a dangerous pass sent over to Klassen. Klassen up top to Waddell. Schrock with the screen. Yeah, that I believe is going to be an illegal screen with the stick on number 19, junior Casey Schrock. So the ball quickly comes back over to Lake Oswego in transition here at the top of the 8-meter, as Schrock is put 4 meters behind. And the Lakers have their first time on offense. Bringing it up the field is number 7, Emma Hunter. Stick across the body. Ball's going to come to Katie Gilbert, who is the little sister of Lauren Gilbert. If you had a chance to join us in the first semifinal, you saw a fantastic sister combination with the Lawless sisters. And on the Lakers sideline, you've got another fantastic sister combination in the Gilbert girls. 2 of our best here in the state. Katie actually earning first team all 3 Rivers League honors this year on the attack side of the ball, while sister Lauren, as we mentioned, was not only the player of the year for 3 Rivers League, as we've got a stoppage in play. While the umpires try to figure out how they will adjudicate this, it looks like Schrock will be brought 4 meters behind. And the ball's quickly dumped forward by Katie, and a shot by Katie Freeman. Another solid freshman on the Lakers. Ball's going to come back to Wilsonville's goalkeeper. As we get reset. Clear up the middle to Schrock. Nice catch. Schrock brings it across the 30, down into Laker territory. Erickson's wide open in front of the cage. Shoot and score with a great pass by Schrock as the Wildcats get on the board first with a really deceptive and nice cut by number 22, Alexa Erickson, to get the Cats on the board first. At the 22:35 mark. Nice opening set by the Cats there in transition. Good moving the ball back. As we come back to the draw with Leach and Erickson. Lake Oswego tonight in the home whites, if you hadn't already figured that out, and Wilsonville in their visiting blue, although this is their home field. Wilsonville High School hosting our OGLA semifinals and finals for the second year as a row as Erickson rips the ball out of the air on the draw, but look who it is. Number 1, Lauren Gilbert, caused turnover. Great check. Going to be a call against number 19, Casey Schrock, for across the body, and that gets the Lakers set up to transition back into offense. Gilbert brings the ball up. Again, this is one of those special players who's got some great speed, but a nice check by Erickson on the side. Brings it over to Chimenti. Chimenti to Hicks. Hicks has got 3 Lakers coming at her, but she gets away clean. Pops the ball to Schrock in the middle. As the transition continues, Leach comes in but does not take the swing. Schrock settles up out on the 10, brings it off the left side, coming back towards the middle. Erickson with the ball. I think the Wildcats' approach tonight might involve slowing some things down from time to time as Waddell dances in and with the waggle and then pulls herself back out. Chimenti with the ball. Looks like she's going to go one-on-one with Rowan Anderson, but is able to get through. We've got an across-the-body call, which will bring up our first free position of the night, with number 3, Rowan Anderson of the Lakers, being sent behind, and number 4, Bella Chimenti, getting set up for her first free position of the night. In the goal for the Lakers is arguably one of our state's best ever goalies, number 38, Riley Hertford, who has a nice clear out to Rowan Anderson in the midfield. Riley is going to be attending the University of Southern California as Rowan now pops to Leach. Leach with a full head of steam coming down the field, shoots and scores right down the alley on the Wilsonville goalie. A beautiful set of transition passes as the Lakers knotted up at 1 apiece with 20:40 on the clock. Again, one of the signatures of the Laker team has always been their transition play, understanding very simply that it's easier to move the ball with passing than it is by running. And as you saw there, they do it very, very well. And a great clear, as we mentioned, about the LO goalie, Riley Hertford. Riley has been a 4-year standout here in the state of Oregon. She has been our goalie of the year, if you will, for 2016, and I've got a hunch she'll probably rack that up for 2017 as well, as Leach and Erickson come off again. Good scramble. Schrock comes up with the ball this time, brings it across the midfield with Gilbert in pursuit. Double team comes, she's able to squeeze away. Good ride from Gilbert. And the Wildcats settle into their offense. Ball comes back over to Chimenti. And now over to Waddell. Waddell with the waggle, and the ball comes back. She redodges, comes back, decides not to go. Drops it back to Hicks. Freshman Kylie Hicks comes in, dances back out. Comes over to Klassen. Klassen to Waddell. Waddell looks to ISO and come in. Nice help defense by the Lakers as Waddell wraps around to Anderson. And again, I think one of the signatures for Wilsonville tonight is going to be taking their time on offense. The clock can be their friend in a game like this. Nice pass, a little over from Waddell. Transition now by Leach. Leach, little overthrow to Gilbert. Ball comes up by Lauren Dean. And I'm not quite sure of the call. Oh, the mouthpiece was hanging out. Laura Dean was in transition, and our umpire noticed that her mouthpiece was hanging out. And due to the safety of that infraction, possession changes back to LO. Number 7, Emma Hunter, brings the ball up, passes it over. Comes to Garland Horowitz, another standout, little long pass, a little over Gilbert's head, and this might be one of those openings that if LO is going to have trouble with some of these transitions. Nice double team there, but Hicks is able to get away. And an across the body call will reset Freeman 4 behind. It's the second series in a row where we've seen the bobble from LO. Very uncharacteristic of them in transition. Ball gets past the Wilsonville goalie. Katie Freeman's going to come up with that ball, it looks like. Oh, ball's still on the carpet. And a cover on Katie Freeman will bring the ball back to Wilsonville. It's going to be a tough one for the Wilsonville player. Essentially a double team right out of the gates and a push. We'll keep the ball with Wilsonville. Comes the pressure. Grace Clark brings the ball upfield but gets checked out of her stick. Is able to regain possession, but it goes out of bounds. Going to stay with Wilsonville. Brooklyn Waddell's going to be the closest to. Katie Freeman will now go 4 away, and Garland Horowitz 4 behind. Quick pass down the field, a little over Erickson's head, and that ball is going to roll out of bounds, going to go to the Lakers. So some uncharacteristic sloppy passes by both teams here a little early. I'm sure there's some jitters in all these girls' stomachs. I anticipate those will drop as the game goes on. And now, as we said, one of the best goalies in the state, if not the best, Riley Hertford, is able to really come out of the cage and be aggressive in walking the ball up and spring this LO transition to life as they come up across midfield and now at the 30 to the middle. But a great pickoff by Kylie Hicks as she brings the Wildcats back the other way. Looking for an opening, trying to find somebody. LO is doing a great job in transition defense of marking up. Here comes Chimenti. Looking for some help. Waddell with the ball on the right side. Looks like she might take a run at it, but nope, she's going to loop back around. Come left, settle on the left. Waddell tends to direct a lot of the Wildcat offense from that spot on the right side. It'll be interesting to see what they do. They're very spread out already tonight. Ball's up over the 30, it's live. Gilbert smartly stays behind. With 15:55 to go, we've got a 1-1 game. Schrock with the ball, brings it over to Chimenti. Little mishandle, but picks it up. Chimenti tries to come down the middle, draws the double, but resets. And there's the Riley Hertford thievery at work. A fantastic goalie outside the circle. She really becomes the 12th defender for these Lakers in so many ways and is able to draw teams into making those kind of passes. Gilbert down to Freeman. Freeman bobbles the ball. Clark picks it up, or excuse me, Clausen picks it up. Oh, no, excuse me, that is Clark who picked the ball up. It's going to stay with Lake Oswego. You'll notice Carly Leach is right in front of the goal, wide open. See if it comes to her. She gets the ball, shoots, and it's off the pipe. Katie Gilbert's able to grab the rebound and bring it back out. That was definitely a great opportunity to put another one on the board, but that darn pipe got in the way. Gilbert handles the ball, brings it over to the left. Settles, looking for a cutter. Younger Gilbert now handling the ball, brings it back to Big Sister. Big Sister looks to come down the left side. Can't find an opening. Double comes. Katie Freeman with the ball, and a nice save by the Wilsonville goalie. Ball's up in the air, but it is saved by Rowan Anderson. Or excuse me, Garland Horowitz. Oh, and Leach gets a quick pass but drops the ball. Wilsonville recovers, picks it up, trying to get their transition underway in the sphere. Wildcat ball. Casey Schrock brings the ball upfield for the Wildcats. Little bobble. Nice check by Garland Horowitz there. Gonna be a cover on Schrock. Ball's coming back to Lake Oswego. Horowitz drops it to Freeman. Freeman comes down the left side looking for somebody, or she may decide to go. Got the double. Nice flip over to Maddie Mansky. Maddie doesn't find daylight, so she brings it back out to Leach. Leach over to Anderson. Anderson to the younger Gilbert, who comes to take a look. Nothing there, but can't find a pass. And we've got our first 3-second call of the night on Wilsonville. For those of you unfamiliar with the girls' game of lacrosse, you'll notice some of the red lines on the field here tonight. Within that second set that's closer into the cage, that is called the 8-meter arc. And when you're in there as a defender, with Gilbert's pass, or excuse me, Leach's pass coming all the way across to Garland Horowitz for Lake Oswego's next goal of the night to bring their lead to 2-1. A fantastic pass, beautiful catch and shot by Horowitz, and a great assist from Leach. But when you're within that 8-meter arc as a defender, you must stay within 1 stick's length of your offensive counterpart. Otherwise, you could be camping in the key in basketball terminology. And if you do venture too far away for more than 3 seconds, then you get a 3-second call, which clearly helped in the setup, delivery, and execution of that play. So again, the Lakers jump up to a 2-1 lead here. With 12:39 on the clock, we bring Leach and Erickson back to the center circle. Ball's up. And Rowan Anderson controls it for the Lakers, pops it to Leach. Leach comes straight down the right hash. Looking, nice pass to Katie Freeman, and a shooting space call. Freeman sets up on the hash. Free position shot. Buries it bottom right side on the Wilsonville goalie to increase the Lake Oswego lead to 3-1. And this really is the power of this Laker team. They can strike quickly and they can hurt you fast. Moving that ball in transition and doing a great job of staying spread out around their offensive end to deliver the ball in very tight windows and make some of these fantastic shots. So we're at the 12:07 mark. And quickly, what started out as a little slower paced game, a few drops in the midfield by both teams, probably working some nerves out, now has got Lake Oswego up 3-1 as we're back at the draw again with Erickson and Leach. Ball's up, and there's I thought Gilbert was going to snag that one and add to her total. A little across the body by Anderson. Hicks has got the ball as she brings it downfield. Crossing the 30 on the right hash. Looks like she may try to come all the way in, but an ill-advised shot straight to goalie Riley Hertford. And here come the Lakers in transition. Gilbert's looking for somebody, not there. She hangs the stick out, gains some speed and momentum, drops the ball quickly over to Garland Horowitz, and bang, just like that. The Lakers are now up 4-1 with Garland Horowitz scoring her second goal of the night. And this is a good time for Coach Manello to take a time out for his team. So we'll take a break here for 1 minute and be right back with your Lake Oswego Lakers leading the Wilsonville Wildcats 4-1. This is the second semifinal of the OGLA Gold Bracket. Welcome back, folks. Just coming out of our timeout that Wilsonville called a moment ago to try to stop the bleeding here a little bit as Lake Oswego bounced out to a quick 4-1 lead after a little bit of a slow start by both teams. But the Lakers, as usual, got their transition game going and were able to lock up a couple of nice buckets. All right, so we're coming back for our next draw. And if the script holds form, we're going to see Alexa Erickson for the Wildcats and Carly Leach from the Lakers. I think the draw has been fairly even thus far, so I can't anticipate Coach Manello making any changes here just yet. Ball's away and Wilsonville controls. Hicks with the ball. Looking for somebody, finds an open Wildcat, but the ball's kicked away by number 11, Maddie Mansky, as the Lakers begin their transition back up the field. Rowan Anderson now with it. Rowan turns back and quickly drops it to Leach in the middle. And Leach over to Horowitz. Gilbert comes left, looks for an opening, can't find it. Tosses it to her big sister. Gilbert comes down the right side, shoots and scores. A blistering right-handed shot past the Wilsonville goalie to bring the LO lead to 5-1. And folks, as we talked about at the opening, Lauren Gilbert might just go down as the best player our state has produced at the high school level, and you can see with the velocity on that shot why. Lauren has had, as I said, an outstanding year this year. That comes in as her 93rd goal this season. Again, back on the draw, Erickson and Leach. Erickson controls it. Here comes Gilbert, though. Solid defense, moving her feet as the Wildcats bring the ball. A little bit of a push high. Will bring them back a few yards and send Lauren Gilbert 4 meters behind as Erickson resets. Erickson on the right side low, looking for a cutter, nothing there. Brings it high, inside roll coming through. Again, nothing there, double ball on the ground. Scooped up by number 4 of the Lakers, Taylor Anders, and it goes right into the net of keeper Riley Hertford. And again, Riley's one of our more dynamic goalies who can definitely handle herself outside the net. Nice midfield pass to Taylor Anders, who's a fantastic athlete in herself, in her own right, as she sprints down the field. And a nice drop pass to Rowan Anderson. Little short, but picked up by number 11, Maddie Mansky, who brings it down to the left side. Quick shot to Carly Leach. Carly Leach shoots, but we're going to have a shooting space call that will set Leach up for her first position of the night. This is going to come on the outer hash, which is a very tough angle to shoot from. I don't anticipate Leach will actually take a shot from that spot. Ball passed out to Anderson. Anderson comes down the right. Not quite sure of this call yet. 3-second violation on the Wildcats, number 6. Mari McCallum, as Katie Freeman breaks free, comes right down the middle, and she shoots and scores for her second goal of the night to take the Laker lead to 6-1 with 8:02 left on our first half clock. Freeman as well is a first team all Three Rivers League selection this year. She had an outstanding freshman campaign. Same draw control, folks, as before between Leach and Erickson. Wildcats need to be careful at this point, not let this game get out of control. Going to redraw. Ball did not get high enough. As you know, in the game of girls lacrosse, the draw needs to get above the girls' heads for it to be legal. Erickson again controls the draw. And a great trail check by Lauren Gilbert. Ball's going to come back to the Wildcats. Umpire must have seen something we didn't up here. Wildcats try to settle back in. And bring it down low. Looks like Waddell may try to ISO. Get in, rolls in front, gets a push call, it looks like. We'll set her up for a free position. Leach will get sent 4 meters behind. Waddell's also had a fantastic freshman campaign for the Wildcats, a super addition for Coach Manello. You'll notice that black sleeve on her knee as the shot goes off of goalie Riley Herford and out of bounds. Ball is going to go to LO. Riley got to the end line, but Waddell has come back from an ACL injury that she had occur in the spring of last year and has worked her way all the way back to have a stellar freshman campaign as the Lakers come back into transition with Anderson. Ball is in the air. A little bit of a push, I believe, but the ball is going to go to the Wildcats. Katie Freeman will be sent 4 behind. See where number 24, Ellis Courtney, decides to go with the ball as she tries to streak up the right side of the field with Maddie Mansky in pursuit. Nice drop pass to Waddell's a little out of her reach. Hertford picks that ball up and gets the dead sprint upfield and slings it to her favorite target, number 1, Lauren Gilbert. And folks, this is where Lake Oswego can kill you. As you saw there, just within 2 passes, now 3. Bang, they've got a call which will result in a free position, and that transition probably took less than 5 seconds. It's one of the fun things about watching a goalie like Riley Hertford, just be able to get that ball to Lauren Gilbert and get themselves in transition quickly. Another shooting space call. We'll take another Wildcat out of the mix as Mansky gets set, or excuse me, I believe that's Horowitz getting set for the free position. And we've got a false start on Wilsonville. We will reset a 3rd time. Horowitz comes in, shoots, bounces wide. Katie Gilbert controls it, brings it out. Comes through the middle. Push is called. That'll set the young Gilbert up top. And sends number 24 for the Wildcats, Ellis Courtney, out as Gilbert comes in, shoots off of the goalkeeper. And a little bit of a ground ball scuffle will result in a Lake Oswego ball. Leach, Freeman, bang. Another LO goal, but oh, I'm sorry, it's being wiped off. An offensive foul has been called against number 8, Katie Freeman, so that goal will not count. Ball will go back to the Wildcats. Be brought out to the top of the 8 where they'll be set up. As a flock of Lakers come in on the Wilsonville player, but the check's a little too tight by Katie Freeman, comes in too close to the hands as it across the body. And we'll reset for the Wildcats. Ball shot to a tight window, but they escape. Another across the body call. Good lob pass to Chimenti in the middle, who hustles down. Quick pass up to Hicks, but it's bobbled. Hertford with the pickup on the ground ball. And she's off and running with a nice pass into the middle to Mansky. Mansky breaks free. Mansky to Gilbert. Gilbert right down the left side, shoots and she scores. Another goal, or I should say the first goal rather, excuse me, the first goal from Lauren Gilbert, the Three Rivers League Player of the Year. That runs our score up to 7-1 with 2:29 remaining in the first half. All right, we're back at the draw again. Erickson and Leach. This has been a fairly even contest, I think, so far this evening. Both of them getting their opportunities. I believe the Wildcats have just dropped a few too many balls in transition, and that's where Lake Oswego feasts the most in being able to bring the ball back down. As Leach goes for the one hand, it knocks it back. Gilbert comes up with it, and here comes the breakaway speed, folks, right down the middle. She drops it to Katie Freeman. Katie Freeman shoots high and off the Wilsonville goalie Anna Cesara's stick, out of bounds. It will remain with Lake Oswego. Maddie Mansky controls the ball, brings it on in from the side. And we've hit the 2-minute mark here in the first half, folks. A little wide for Leach from Gilbert. Wilsonville's able to come in. Cross the body by Leach, sets her 4 behind. Hicks with the ball coming down the middle. She's got immediate pressure from 2, and the breakaway speed from Gilbert on display there. What a masterful trail check as she picks it up and begins to truck the other way, drops it off to Freeman. Freeman comes down the middle into the double. Can't find anybody open, so backs it out. What an outstanding defensive play by Lauren Gilbert, though, to come in with that trail check and start this fast break. That was a thing of beauty. Katie Gilbert herself comes on in. Got a whistle. I think we're going to have a 3-second call, but that will free or put Gilbert on the 8-meter hash and give her a free position shot. Gilbert wisely drops it over to Leach. Freeman tries to roll, brings it back to the right side, shoots and scores on a pretty wraparound. Gets her defender to bite and beats her to the other side of the cage. That is Katie Freeman's 3rd goal of the night. So the hat trick for the freshman of the Lakers team brings our score to 8-1 with 54.8 seconds to go in the first half. Really pretty wraparound goal. Katie Freeman, as I said, has had a super year in the Three Rivers League, showing great promise as a freshman. Leach and Erickson again on the draw. See that speed from Gilbert come in, but Schrock comes up with this one, drops it to Erickson. Erickson in transition, bounces off number 4, Taylor Anders. A little bit of a push. We'll reset here. Erickson brings the ball down the left side. Erickson, a little bit of an ISO, tries to get the double team, pulls it over, and the ball gets coughed up. It's on the carpet. Recovered by, across the body. I believe that was recovered by number 12, Lexi Foreman, for the Wildcats. We'll set her up on a free position. Ball's brought down to Waddell. Waddell's trying to ISO, get herself loose in the middle. Is able to throw the ball, but it's a little bit off the mark. Lake Oswego comes up with the ball in transition. Nice hustle by Anders to get that ball. Drops it back. Boom, one more time. Emma Hunter's got the ball, decides to run backwards, and we're at halftime, folks. Well, a really, really nice display from Lake Oswego in transition after a little bit of a slow start. Some really beautiful transition play of getting the ball down the field. I think Wilsonville's probably a little on their heels right now, but this is an outstanding group of young ladies who I know will make a great attempt at a comeback come in the second half. Hopefully get some of the nerves and the jitters out. This has been Finklea here at Randall Stadium at Wilsonville High School for Game 2 of the OGLA Gold semifinals between the #1 ranked Lake Oswego Lakers and the #5 Wilsonville Wildcats. We've got 6 minutes to go in our halftime, so go refill your glass, get a bowl of chips, and we'll see you back here in just a couple of minutes. Thanks for being with us. Well, welcome back, folks, for the second half of our OGLA Gold semifinal matchup between the #1 ranked Lake Oswego Lakers and the #5 seed, the Wilsonville Wildcats. It was a good first half for the Lakers, jumping out to an 8-1 lead through some fantastic transition play and close quarters passing in and around the 8-meter arc in their traditional high-tempo offense. We'll see how Wilsonville responds here in the second half. Looks as though Wilsonville will stay with number 22, Alexa Erickson, on the draw. Just waiting for some signal from the table. So our umpires come out, and Leach will again take the draw for the Lakers. And we're underway. Oh, we're going to redraw. Ball did not get high enough on that initial. Some good balanced scoring from the Lakers here in the first half, or in that first half. Horowitz with 2, Gilbert Jr. with 1, Katie Freeman, the freshman, with 3, Carly Leach with 1, and then senior captain Lauren Gilbert, #1, also adding a goal to get that tally up to 8. As Schrock's under pressure by Gilbert. Advantage, but then a push on Gilbert will bring the ball back and send Lauren Gilbert 4 meters behind. Schrock brings the ball back in towards the middle, tosses it up to Erickson. Erickson tries to come right, find an opening, swings back to her left, can't find anything, but she's able to get a shot loose. And I think we're going to have a 3-second call that will give her a free position opportunity. Wilsonville needs to convert on these in order to stem the bleeding a little bit. Erickson brings the ball back out. Doesn't like what she sees. Swings the ball back to Hicks, who bobbles it a bit, but brings it back under control. Hicks swings it round top, looking for an opening, brings the ball to Waddell. Anders fights through a nice screen, but Waddell's not able to find an opening to free a shot. Waddell comes back down the lane, takes a shot, and scores to get the Wildcats on the board first. A nice over-the-hand rider. Bottom corner gets our score to 8-2. Nice start to the second half for the Wildcats. It's going to be some goals like that they're going to need to bury and really control the clock if they can get within striking distance. But a nice way to start our second half. And a good cheer from the Wilsonville bench to their team on the field, encouraging them on with 23-31 to go in the second half. And an 8-2 lead by the Lakers. Leach and Erickson get ready to face off again. And we will redraw. Oh, calling it early against #2, Carly Leach. They'll give the ball to the Wildcats. Wildcats in transition, bringing it down. Erickson on the right hash. Comes back to her left to try to find an opening. It's going to be a push on Leach. See if Erickson decides to come all the way in and try to take a shot. She comes across the center, but decides to back it out. Over to Schrock. Oh, Hertford almost gets another interception. but definitely causes a bobble. Ball's still a little bit loose. 7 for LO. Emma Hunter is able to come away with it and get it back to Hereford. That is another good example of what Riley Hereford can do to become the 12th defender on the field. Here comes Gilbert with that great speed. Nice whip. Great catch by Leach. Leach brings it down. Bing, bang. Oh, and a great stuff by the Wilsonville goalie, Anna Cicera. What a block. Point blank range. Brings that thing back in. Double pressure comes on the line. A little bit of a push. Wilsonville retains. Ball's a little bit long, but Waddell is able to bring it back up as she comes back. Hits the deck. Ball's loose. Freeman's got it. Freeman, Gilbert, Horowitz with almost a shoestring catch. Brings it back to Katie Gilbert. Gilbert to Gilbert. Bang. Score. Pretty play. Great pass from little sister to big sister. And that rings our score up to 9-2. Beautiful pass from Katie to Lauren as she books her second goal of the night. Wilsonville had a nice opening goal in the second half. Look to maybe get the momentum moving back the other way. But obviously quick goals like that by LO will bring that to a halt if you aren't able to punch back and get a few more in. Plenty of time still here on the clock. Ball still loose. Leach comes through, scoops up, brings it downfield, coming to the middle. Quick pass to Gilbert. Gilbert right down the alley, shoots and wide to the left. Ball will stay with the Lakers. And again, that killer speed on display in transition is just so fun to watch. Mansky brings the ball back up top to Gilbert. Gilbert shakes, bakes, gets a little bit of a trip. And we will see the ball reset at the top. Just some accidental tangled feet there. Nothing on purpose as Katie Gilbert walks back and gets set with Casey Schrock 4 meters behind. See if Gilbert decides to take it on in and take a shot. She does. She shoots and she scores. Katie Gilbert with the bottom corner shot. That rings her up for her second goal of the night, tying big sister with a pair. Katie Gilbert, a standout basketball player, and you can see those skills on display tonight as she's moving out here on the lacrosse field. The old analogy that lacrosse is basketball with sticks on a soccer field are evident in plays like that, in that first step quickness of getting to the cage. A really nice shot by Katie. And as we bring Erickson and Leach back to the circle for yet another face-off, with the Lakers up 10-2 with 20 minutes and 31 seconds remaining in the second half. Ball's away. Gilbert, another great snag, pulls that ball down. Lakers are in transition. Nice pass to Freeman. Freeman coming down the middle, looking for a lane, can't find it, brings it out over to Leach. Leach brings it back to Rowan Anderson on the top. Anderson to Gilbert. Freeman down low, looking to make a move. Drops the ball, a little short. Hicks comes up with it. Great turnover. Can she hang on to it? She does. She's in transition. Mansky with the push. We'll send her 4 behind. Hicks with the ball. Anderson matching her. Hicks turns back in, a little across the body. We'll send it 4 behind. Hicks slides down low. Drops the ball to Waddell. Waddell, a little bit of a bobble. Waddell trying to find an opening, unable. This is going to be a yellow card for repetitive fouls. I had a hunch this was coming. That'll send Lauren Gilbert out for 1 minute, or excuse me, 2 minutes. Repetitive foul call. Not necessarily all number one's fault, but if an umpire feels that a team as a whole is causing the same foul, they will send the next player off with the yellow card. As Chimenti tries to come in but is bottled up, but she gets the push call, so that'll send her to the top of the 8 for a free position. And again, in a hope to get some momentum going, Wilsonville really needs to convert on this. And uh-oh, I think we've got another yellow card coming. The umpire. A second yellow card on number 2, Carly Leach. So Lake Oswego's 2 best players are essentially down. I'm not sure what the reason was. But we'll set Bella Chimenti up at the 8. Maybe a little bit of chippiness to an umpire. Ball's off to the right. Going to go out of bounds, retained by Wilsonville. They are 2 men up here on this offensive set. See if they can capitalize. Somebody coming right down the middle is Waddell. Waddell shoots and scores to rack up 1 for the Wildcats and take advantage of the 2-man down scenario on the field to bring the score to 10-3. Nice tight pass into a short, tight window gets Waddell her 2nd goal of the night. Katie Gilbert's going to step in and take the draw in place of Carly Leach. And Katie Freeman's going to come up and join the circle in place of Lauren Gilbert as the Lakers navigate being 2 men down here in the second half with 18:24 remaining and the Wildcats trailing 10-3. And the Lakers call themselves a timeout to regroup here a little bit and talk it over and see if they can figure out what they're going to do with the 2 men down situation. So we'll step away here as well. Go refill your glass and chip bowl. We'll be back in 1 minute. All right, everybody, welcome back to Randall Stadium here at Wilsonville High School. We are in the second half of our gold semifinal number 2 between the number 1 ranked Lake Oswego Lakers, who are leading 10-3, but at the moment are 2 men down based on yellow cards. And as we come back onto the field, it's on the heels of Wilsonville getting a nice pass into Brooklyn Waddell to get a 3rd goal up on the board for them. Coach Lauren Anderson of the Lakers called a timeout after that goal to try to regroup with her Lakers, and we'll see how that plays out here as we bring it back to the circle. Looks like Elo is going to switch it up and actually bring Katie Freeman in for the draw and drop Katie Gilbert, the younger sister of Lauren Gilbert, onto the north end of the circle. Alexa Erickson for the Wildcats will stay in on the draw. As we mentioned early in the broadcast, Wilsonville had a great opening contest against the Lakers early in the year and got out with only a 9-8 loss as Schrock comes up with the draw, bringing it downfield again. 2 men down are the Lakers on defense. So let's see what the Wildcats can do with this advantage. Hicks with the ball. Like we've got a 3-second call on the Lakers. Clock still moving. Hicks with the ball, brings it to the left, swings it on over to Waddell. Waddell comes right down the alley and draws a shooting space against Freeman. Freeman will go 4 behind. On the second hash, Waddell sets up. Waddell comes down the alley, doesn't like the shot, pulls it out. Elo with the pressure defense. Even 2 men down, going with the pressure defense to try to rattle the Wildcats. Schrock with the ball. Chimenti. Chimenti to Schrock. Schrock's in a tight corner. Ball's on the carpet. Who's going to come up with it? Lakers got it. Katie Freeman in transition, but a nice check from the trail by Hicks. Chimenti with the push by Katie Freeman keeps the ball with the Wildcats as we hit the 16:50 mark. The first yellow card has expired. Lauren Gilbert is back on the field. And the second card is released as Leach re-enters the game. So we are even. Hicks with the ball on the left side. Comes in right into a triple, rolls out, comes to the top. Drops the ball back over to Chimenti. Chimenti drives down the right, can't find a hole, brings it down low. Chimenti trying, probing, trying to find a spot. We're going to get a push call. Chimenti will line up on the 8-meter and get herself a free position shot. And again, these are valuable possessions for the Wildcats. They're going to have to convert on some of these if they hope to get back in this game. Umpires have asked for the clock to be stopped. Just positioning some of the players. Chimenti comes in, fires. Nice save by goalie Riley Herford. She finds number 6 for the Lakers, McKinley Mullen, who's sprinting down the midfield. Mullen comes down the left side, checked by Waddell, but she drops it, picks it back up, passes a little off. Leach running out to the corner to try to get it. Wilsonville pressure, but Leach is able to get it away. Get it over to Freeman. No wonder a little pressure is able to pick it up, get away. Gilbert resets on top. Gilbert might be trying to go one-on-one here with Erickson. Drives left, comes back to her left, comes right in, shoots, and off the pipe. Rebound by Katie Gilbert. Those are some valuable ground balls that Wilsonville needs to get an opportunity to gobble up. And a little bit of an errant pass, a little low by Gilbert Sr., but Katie Freeman's able to recover. I got a chance she's got a problem with, or I got to believe she's got a problem with her stick, as I can see Lauren trying to fix something. That was a uncharacteristic low pass. And we've got a 3-second call against the Wildcats. It's going to send Brooklyn Waddell out 4 meters back. Drops the ball over to Horowitz. Horowitz to Leach, or excuse me, Horowitz to Anderson. Gilbert's taking her time. Ball's over to Anderson. Quickly into Leach. Leach bobbles the ball, drits it on the carpet. Picked up by Hicks. Hicks in the midfield now trying to get bust loose. A little bit of a push by Anderson. Will drop her 4 back. Hicks tries to get to the middle. She's met by, able to slip past the defenders on the white as she gets past the 40. Gets the ball up to Waddell. Waddell, quick pass to Erickson. Erickson comes in, shoots and scores. A pretty pass and a really nice shot by number 22, Alexa Erickson. Her 2nd goal of the night, which brings the score to 10-4 with 12:10 left on the clock. A really nice transition set there from the Wildcats, bringing it upfield and finding the windows and finding the openings. And we're all even back on the field, so that will get Carly Leach into the draw circle against Alexa. Again, 12-10 left in the game. Wilsonville will need to get a couple more goals like that here rather quickly if they have hope of getting back in this. Coach Anderson's making a few adjustments on her draw, or excuse me, on her attack personnel. Bringing Katie Gilbert a little wide. Ball's up and in the stick of Casey Schrock. Across the body call on Lauren Gilbert will put her 4 behind as the Wildcats get a chance to move into an offensive set. Ball checked out, but retained by Hicks. Small trip. That will send Carly Leach 4 behind. And Hicks will bring the ball up top. Coach Anderson's directing her troops to pack it in. Waddell's trying to take a bite but can't find any daylight. No room for the cutters right now. Lakers playing great defense, really shutting off the alleys. Waddell tries to come right, nothing there. Nice defensive set there. Great steal from Emma Hunter. Way to knock it out of the stick as she gets on our horse and rides down the field. Coming down this left hash. Pass to Katie Freeman. Katie's coming down the alley. Shoots and scores. A beautiful set of transition work down the field. Started by an outstanding turnover by number 7, Emma Hunter, the senior. Getting the ball moved all the way down the field and then into Katie Freeman's stick, who buries a nice shot in the back of the net, which brings our score to 11-4 with 10:47 to go. Katie Freeman right now is the leading scorer for the Lakers with 4 goals this evening. Playing a great game thus far. And we're back to the draw with Leach and Erickson. Seems like every time Wilsonville's trying to mount a bit of a comeback, Lake Oswego just strikes. And just like that, Lauren Gilbert scoops up yet another draw control from Leach, brings it down the left side, cuts back down the middle. And we're waiting for the call. I got a feeling it's going to be a shooting space. And it is. Gilbert gets set up on the top hash as the officials get everybody spread out. Gilbert in, right hand, shoots, scores. But that goal is being wiped off. No goal. Offensive charge on Gilbert. We'll bring it back to Wilsonville. See what Wilsonville does with this. Hicks with the pass, bobbles it a bit, picks it up. Is able to turn, but runs right into the defense. Going to be a push call on the Lakers. We'll get Hicks set up. Hicks with the ball over to Erickson. Erickson comes down the middle, looking to get to the left hash. Streaks it down, tries to cut, jukes a little bit, nothing there. Shoots and scores from an incredible angle. What a shot by Erickson. That was pretty. Her 3rd goal of the night in the upper right-hand corner, and about as tight a window as you can see. Wow, what a pretty shot by the junior, Alexa Erickson. Wow, pretty shot. That brings us to 11-5 with 9:15 to go. In our first semifinal game tonight, the score was a 6-goal differential with about 10 minutes to go, and OES mounted a spectacular comeback and was able to get out of here with a 13-12 win in overtime. Let's see if Wilsonville's got that in their bag in the last 9 minutes of tonight's second semifinal. Ball's up, back into Gilbert's stick. LO into transition on offense. Anderson up top, comes down the middle, brings it back out to Carly Leach, who, boom, off the top post. Anderson back over to Horowitz. You can see the power in Carly Leach's shot by the amount of bounce that came off that pipe. Katie Freeman rolls back in, nothing there, comes back out. Anderson brings it around to the left. Carly Leach bobbles the ball, doesn't get the shot off. Maddie Mansky comes through, gets it checked out. Horowitz comes away with it. Nice check by Casey Schrock to get it loose. Bounces back into Katie Gilbert's stick. And she motions her teammates to settle down. With 8:11 on the clock, let's see what the Lakers do. A little bit of a push by number 8 on Wilsonville, Lauren Dean rather, excuse me, as Katie Freeman was trying to come through. A little bit of an arm bar with the stick. Sets Katie Freeman up for a free position shot. I got a feeling she's going to go all the way into the net. Let's see if she can put one in the back of the cage. Katie Freeman comes in, fires, shoots. Nice save by goalie Anna Cicera. But the Lakers recover the rebound and bring it back down with Lauren Gilbert. And they look like they're getting close to going into settle down mode and are just going to drain the last 7 minutes or so off this clock in order to position themselves to advance to next Thursday's OGLA state championship game against OES. Leach down the middle, tries to get free, draws the shooting space. Leach, a natural lefty, very tough to handle when she's coming down the alley like that. Let's see if she can loose this ball and get another notch for the Lakers. She comes in, shoots wide right. Ball will remain with the Lakers. Freeman sets up. Gilbert patiently waiting. No hurry here for the Lakers. Just waiting to see if one person can pop free. Lauren's free. Oh, nice check by Hicks. Pops it loose. Will they pull it up? Ball's out. Casey Schrock got it, and she's on the move. Great patience defensively. And a push by the Lakers. Schrock with the ball, coming down the midfield. Freeman in pursuit. Schrock swings it back. Lexi Foreman drops it over to Waddell. Waddell comes around, looking for an opening, but the opening is shut. Senior Emma Hunter doing a nice job on keeping Waddell out. She's going to try to get the ISO. Comes back to her left, shoots. Off goalie Riley Hertford, out of bounds. Will stay with Wilsonville. And a 3-second call on the Lakers. Gets one out of the way. We'll see if Waddell decides to go for Pater from here. And with 3:58 on the clock, she might just want to take a try. Not a lot of daylight left. Grabs the shooting space call, though. That'll help clear out a defender. And the pressure defense comes in by the Lakers. With 3:30 to go and a lead of 11-5, I think the Lakers, regardless of what happens on this possession, have this game probably well in hand. Hicks with the ball. As Coach Lauren Anderson calls for her defenders to pack it in. Drops into Schrock. Ball's bobbled. Turnover, picked up by the Lakers in transition. Here comes Horowitz. Horowitz to Gilbert. Gilbert to Anderson. Anderson's going to bring it down. Horowitz up top. And again, I think the Lakers will take their time on this possession unless something really open presents itself. For the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds here, I believe we will see the Lakers pass the ball around the outside. Anderson to Mansky, Mansky to Leach. Leach sets up behind. As we count down this last minute 50. There's a turnover. A little bobbled pass. Wilsonville in transition. Lauren Gilbert comes in to try to squeeze the play off. Showing that fantastic speed. And it's called for an in the sphere. Alexa Erickson tries to curl back to the inside, gets free, shoots, and that scores. Nice shot from Alexa Erickson. As we just come up on 1 minute and 1 second to go, Erickson buries her 4th goal of the night to lead all scorers for the Wildcats. Brooklyn Waddell scoring the other 2. A nice highlight for her in the state semifinal game. Finding some very tight windows and some very impressive shots tonight, as well as doing, I think, a pretty darn good job on the draw control this evening as well. Well, folks, we're 11-6. Lakers in the lead with 1 minute and 1 second to go. With the Lakers winning tonight's game, this will mark their 6th straight trip back to the OGLA Finals game. Going back to, let's see here, 2008. When that streak started, going in against St. Mary's. And as you know, the last 5 years, they've faced Westland in the state championship game. Westland getting knocked off by the Wildcats in the quarterfinals. To stop their streak at 5 games back in the state finals. So we'll have some fresh blood on one side of the bracket with OES, again pulling off an outstanding come-from-behind win against Jesuit to punch their ticket to their first ever state championship game. Casey Schrock tries to bottle it, swings it back around, bobbles the pass, and who's got it? Riley Hertford with 20 seconds on the clock. She should be able to drain this as the Lakers get ready to march on and have an opportunity to win their 7th state championship. If they can accomplish that, that would tie them with Lake Ridge, our founding program here in the state, who also has 7 state championships. And that's the end of the ball game, folks. The Lakers, in fairly dominant fashion, punch their ticket to their 6th straight gold bracket finals, where again they will take on the OES Aardvarks, who are appearing for the first time next week on Thursday night at 8 o'clock back here at Randall Stadium at Wilsonville High School is when that game will take place. We will live stream that one again for you, and we look forward to having you, no matter where you are, join us. So for the final time tonight, this is Ben Finklea with the Oregon Girls Lacrosse Association saying goodbye. Have yourselves a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend happens after next week's state championship game. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next Thursday for the Gold Division OGLA State Championship game. So long, everybody.